Can you be ambitious without burning out? Right now, it feels like we're stuck between two extremes: hustle culture or the soft life. One day you're crushing everything, the next you're doing nothing and feeling guilty about it. But you don't have to choose. The problem isn't that you're lazy, it's that you're running on toxic fuel. You rely on stress, guilt, and last minute panic to get things done. So, of course, your brain treats every to-do list like an emergency. Then the crash comes and you blame yourself. Here's how to break the cycle. Your brain takes in a million information a day. So it obviously has to filters out what's not worth it and keeps in what's worth it. So this filter will look for evidence to confirm what you already believe. So when your main belief is like, oh my god, I never get stuff done, I'm so behind, I'm so inconsistent, your brain will keep noticing proof that it's true, that you're actually so bad at sticking to something. And then your brain will literally ignore all the wins you had and all the process where you put all the effort. Basically, your brain doesn't show you reality, it shows you what it's been trained for. And it's like affirmations or discipline, you have to give something bit by bit, but long enough so your brain actually understand that it's its new reality, because your brain changes through repetition. All your stress, all the habits of the old you that you're trying to change, they're like a highway in your brain. They are here, they're anchored and pretty obvious because you've used them so many times. But when you're trying to get a new mindset with a new habit, it's like a little dirt path. So when you watch this video, like a motivational video or something that makes you understand how your brain works, it creates a little bit of a path. But since you're walking through that path just once, it won't be obvious to your brain. So if you don't repeat it with action, your brain literally forgets about it and the path disappears. So the more you repeat a pattern, the easier your brain makes it. And so our main target in this video is to know how to not go back to this highway and to actually keep going through that small path, even when it looks muddy. So again, going back with the starting small, but really do start small and finish with proof. If you start your day with a very hard task, you're gonna make your brain panic, and so then you will procrastinate and you will be anxious the whole day. So instead, what we want is to begin with one easy low pressure task, and you make it like 10 minutes. So clear your desk, organize a folder, make your to-do list like a very small thing. So when you finish it, your brain is gonna receive some dopamine, so it's gonna receive a bit of a boost. And so when at the end of the day you write down, I did 10 minutes of cleaning, you end the day with evidence. And so your brain filter actually realized that you came back to that path, and since you recorded it, it will notice progress because you're putting the focus on it, and all the things you felt like you failed at them, you just overlook them. So when you start again tomorrow, it will feel so much easier and you'll be proud of yourself. But sometimes we do a lot of things right in the day. We completed our to-do list, but there's still one thing that we didn't do, and somehow the thing that you didn't do or that you did wrong or you didn't do in a perfect way will overtake all of your progress of the day. So you need to give your brain a proper shutdown. You need to create a physical routine that will tell your brain that it's over. It could be stepping outside once your work is done. It could be just closing your laptop and putting it in a drawer. It could be breathing, for example, something that is clear enough for your brain to be like, it's okay, I'm done, I did what I had to do. Because without a clear ending, your brain will always stay in a work mode, and so it repeats unfinished tasks and possible mistakes. But by creating a shutdown ritual, you tell your body the job is done, and it has like a last positive note effect. Like I said earlier, you can even write it down what you did that was good to you, that you felt like was a success. So you end the day feeling calm and you're not actively trying to find where you failed and somehow finding it, because your brain is really good at finding things that don't exist. But to also avoid the disappointment of not finishing something or of not starting something, you need a floor and a ceiling. Because I think the biggest reason ambitious people actually burn out, or just so many people with potential don't actually start, is because they think it's either all or nothing. So you have a peak of motivation and wow, you do everything, you don't stop working for 10 hours, and then comes one low energy day and then you do nothing, because you are relying on motivation and on energy to do stuff, and automatically your brain will come and be like, you're a failure, I told you that. Because your brain's filter is always looking for failure. Like, this motherfucker doesn't take any rest. What I would recommend is that on high energy days you actually put a ceiling, so you put a maximum of what you could do. And obviously if you still have more energy, maybe switch to another kind of task. Maybe you're working on a business, maybe you're in school and you want to have good grades, or it could be anything else. Try to switch. If you still feel like you have mental clarity after 3 hours, then switch to something a bit more fun. Allow yourself to rest and to not have spikes. And then for the low energy days, you can have a floor. So you require from your brain to at least be present for 15 minutes or 10 minutes. So you show to your brain that even tired, you're not giving up, because your brain is okay with any kind of action. So even if it's small, it still keeps the pathway alive. So you really don't have to choose between having big dreams and having a soft life. You can protect your peace and chase challenges. You just have to keep in mind that you're human and that your fuel comes from your nervous system. So you should never sacrifice it to achieve goals. It's actually something that you should care for because it helps you go further.